Welcome to the Find Your Flow podcast. So here we are, Nimesh, and am I pronouncing your name correctly? Let's start there.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
So here we were just literally just getting on camera with each other. And usually I like to just have at least a minute or two together to sort of settle into the energy. And I heard just press record. So I do as I'm told. I do as I'm guided, and I press record. And just before we hit record, listener, I lost my pen. I like to jot down ideas and jot down notes, or more often than not, when messages come through, I jot those down. But I said to you, I guess we're just meant to wing it. And so here we are. And maybe not winging it, but being guided into the most beautiful conversation, and whatever moves through us is supposed to be shared. So
100%.
Welcome to Find Your Flow, Nimesh. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Thank you for the invitation. I'm looking forward to the conversation. I'm sure our guys are, they have jokes too, but also they're sometimes impatient. Let's get on with the conversation. So I'm looking forward to it.
So that's exactly how it feels. It feels very encouraging. Insistent. How's that? Maybe not impatient, but definitely insistent, as if something very important should be shared, which no doubt. Okay, so let's start off with my one question, my one and only question. Let's see where it takes us. How do you what does it mean to you to say find your flow?
For me, find your flow is exactly what we just did. Be present in the moment, let go of all expectations, and wherever you go, right? This is it's our expectations that slow us down. And my deal with my guides is I'm just going to show up. You tell me where I need to be, I'm going to show up. And for me, being in flow is being present in the moment, because we don't really have any control over the past or the future, really, because if you're honest with yourself, the last few years, we've been on a roller coaster, right? But if you're present in the moment, there's so much magic, there's so much beauty, there's so much love in this space, right? And that for me is being in flow, is being present and being in appreciating the moment. Because when you appreciate the moment, the next moment is even more magical, right?
Oh, I absolutely love that. And I'm right there with you, that flow is just, okay, all right, let's go with this and let's see where it takes us, and to be open. So that's how I'm entering this conversation, open to the brilliance that you have to share. And I don't mean that lightly. I don't say that lightly. It is literally, your light is brilliant. And that comes across on your words, which then form a message for the rest of us to receive. So, Nimesh, you are a spiritual coach.
Yeah.
And I think for listeners, it would be awesome if you could define that. What exactly is a spiritual coach, and what are your modalities?
So for me, a coach mentor is somebody that holds your space, especially spiritual, when you're going through a shift. I don't tell anybody what to do. I basically hold people's space when you're going through a shift, because sometimes you can't see what's happening inside. So you need somebody intuitively to guide you to you. That's essentially what I do. I guide people. When you sign up for the mentorship programs, I work on your 4 bodies: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, because your gifts, your trauma, anything you're holding on to could be any one of those bodies, right? Your physical body is the vessel for your soul. It's important. We've got to look after it. Your mental is very much your ego, your mind. Your emotional is really the love that you feel inside and around you. And spiritual is your connection to you guys, to source. And I guide people through healing each of those and holding space. Modalities, I read Akashic Records. Akashic Records are really a soul journey, what your soul's been through. Obviously, intuitive, check in with people. I have lots of meditations. Whatever I do for people, I have a framework that the human needs, but every session is kind of channeled and very much in the present, very much so there's a meditation there. It's very, very much recorded live, and whatever comes through. I also do a technique called ABC, which scans your body. It's called Accessing Body's Consciousness. And you scan your body, anything you blocked, we kind of guide you to bring it out so you can have a conversation with it. And it's typically someone in your past, maybe an ancestor, something that's blocking you, and so many other things. I mean, I can talk about, there's so many things that we can use and access, and Akashic Records are a big part of it. It really is just a soul guidance. I love it because I get to guide people through some really intense times because we hold on to so much programming, but then also into so many magical moments where they realize they're the gift. You know, because we talk about modalities, we talk about, and that's great. Learn all the modalities, and they help you and they guide you. But that doesn't define who you are. Your light, your presence, your energy. That's the gift. And realizing that anybody in your world, you're a gift to them. Because how often do people, kind of change and lower their energy, their vibration to be around other people? And no, this is a time where we've got to shine our light uniquely and as brightly as we can, and encourage and inspire people to do the same. If they don't, that's not on us. And that's what I love to do. And I went off at a tangent, but it's such a beautiful time to do this because everybody's going through something.
I so can we say that wasn't a tangent?
That's the human in me, kind of like, I wanted to do a concise answer. I went off and, but yeah, no,
No, that was your answer. And it was so, see what I mean, listener, the brilliance that comes through. Would you dive in a little bit deeper about the Akashic Records? So
sure.
I know that a lot of people go on spiritual journeys, they go on healing journeys, and along their pathway, they hear all of these different buzzwords. And I think Akashic Records is one of those. These buzzwords that they're like, I've heard of that, but I don't exactly know what that is. And how working with them can benefit. And what I'll say is I've done Akashic journeys. When we had first met, you had suggested that we do an Akashic record reading, and I'm all for that, absolutely. But if we could start there, just
Sure.
explaining what the Akashic records are and how you use them.
Sure. I guess the first thing I'd say is, as humans, we love our terms, right? We love to, kind of makes us easier to define. And for me, Akashic Records, they're everywhere. They're a record of what your soul's been through, current life, past life, future life, prior life. Everything about you is stored in the records. And I believe that we've all access to records, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through in your dreams. You've all touched the records, and our soul knows how to access our records. Our higher self, our guides, have full access to the records. It's just the human needs to be guided to it. And for me, the records have been a doorway into a deeper connection with my guides and an ability to access all realms. And it's a term. Akasha is mentioned in Hinduism and Christianity. It's been around for a long time. And at the beginning, whatever you imagine is perfect. So at the beginning, I used to kind of see it as a building in a library of Akasha. That's what a lot of people.
Yes. Yeah.
Then I kind of saw it as a cloud. Now I just see it as part of everything. And whatever you believe is perfect. And what I do when somebody does an individual reading is I connect with your guides and I channel a message that you need. I'll always say it's what you need rather than what you want. Because, we have expectations, right? But our guides are like, wait, hold on. I'm going to use this opportunity and it's a very safe and protected environment because you're protected by your
Yeah.
guides. In many
Yeah.
ways, I'm the guest in your space. You're giving me access to your soul, giving me access to your guides. And I'm a vessel for the message. I don't change it. I don't filter it. I don't. In fact, it's the time where I'm the least human. I feel I'm
Yeah.
so connected to source, and I'm not even their presence. A lot of the time, after the reading, I remember the essence of what came through, but a lot of it I won't remember the detail. Sure, I mean, sometimes we access past lives, connecting to your guides. I always love connecting you to your high self and a couple of your guides. And it's no two reasons the same. I don't have any, so whatever comes through comes through. But for me, they're a way of building a deeper connection to you.
That is so lovely, so beautiful.
Thank you.
When I used to work with people and do private sessions, one-on-one, that type of thing. I know exactly what you mean when you say I'm not there. The human me is not there. I'm just literally tapped into source, tapped into all, and whatever's meant to come through comes through. And sometimes that's a like a very clear picture of someone who's passed, who's transitioned. Sometimes it was a beam of light, or I shouldn't say one beam, it was usually a crowd.
Yeah,
And
usually a crowd.
yeah, it's usually a crowd, right? And if I just allowed my light to form this, it was almost like a bridge. It would come out of me and form a bridge. And then it was just information would travel through that
Yeah.
light bridge. The most beautiful experience. And now I don't work with people in a private capacity because I'm meant to be doing this right now. That doesn't mean that it's not there. It doesn't mean I don't have access to it. It's literally all the time, everywhere. It's just
Yep.
turn up the volume or turn down the volume.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is so amazing about what it is that we have literally trained and
Yeah.
honed as our skill.
Yeah. I mean, our soul knows how to access this stuff. It's not, it's the
Yeah.
human. It's kind of wanting to put things in a box and your expectations. It's easy for me to say, but the more you can leave your expectations at the door, the easier it gets. And, we've also got to remember we're a soul having a human experience and
Yes.
connecting with the records. Some people see it as a way of give me all my answers and, all of a sudden everything will be perfect. We're here to have a human experience, right? So what the records do is give you an insight into what you're dealing with in this lifetime. It doesn't fix things for you because you have to fix it, right? And what if
Right.
nothing needs fixing? What if you're perfect exactly as you are, right? And it's really your intent when you connect with your records. And by the way, there's lots of prayers available online if you want to try and practice. Sure, it's not like it's anything private, but I always tell people, what's your intention?
Yeah.
If your intention is to be fixed, and if your intention is, then you probably won't get the answers you're looking for. And if also you go into the records with, yeah, I'm not going to feel anything, this is just a gimmick. Your guides will be like, they'll probably hear you and say, okay, if that's what you want, that's what we're going to give you. So if you can just be open and realize it's like a new relationship. You take time with it.
Yes.
You
Nurture.
you play with it. Yeah, exactly. You try
Mm-hmm.
different things and, open questions, close questions, but also open the records when you go for a walk and just it's like building a relationship with your guides. It's just a deeper way of doing it.
That's so beautiful. When we first met, I had the honor and privilege to be a guest on your podcast.
Yeah.
th- I don't want to get it wrong because I always want to call it the soulful journey, but it's not. It's the spiritual journey, the
Yeah.
spiritual journey. And when we met, we did a pre-screen and then we recorded our episode. And in that pre-screen, we were just about ready to hang up when you said, "By the way,
Hmm.
you have a new guide." And that new guide is a dragon energy, a dragon spirit. And I said, funny you should say that because that very, very morning, I was guided to listen to a dragon sound healing for the very first time in my entire life. I had never accessed that. And it's not like I've listened to it every day. I listen to it when I'm guided to listen to it. But here's an interesting thing. A few weeks ago, I sat down and I did an interview with an animal communicator.
Wow.
She was brilliant, so interesting. And after filming, we wrapped and hit stop, and then she starts going into very personal things that it's not that she didn't want to share it on a recording, it's that it needed to be in a sacred space.
100%.
So she shared with me that our cat has a dragon spirit.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Doesn't surprise me at all.
It made me giggle because here I am looking at George the cat going, oh, George. George is just this cute little baby cat who's like 11 years old or almost 11, but he still is just a baby. He just wants to act like a baby. And I mean, like, be curled up in my arms or in anybody's arms, upside down, rub his belly. This is how he's happiest. So never in a million years would I have thought he has the energy and the soul and the spirit of a dragon, but here we are. And I had to share that with you because it was like it came full circle. And now I just look at George differently.
That's so beautiful. And the thing is, with our pets, in many ways, they are our spiritual guides. They do take, especially cats. It's like if we're holding on, if we're going through a rebirth and there's stuff that we need to release, I really believe that our pets take on that energy to protect us. And never underestimate the relationship. And I'm sure that actually you and your cat have had past lives together, right? In different roles, different capacities. And
For sure.
so
Yeah, for sure.
beautiful. Such a beautiful. Honestly, I don't remember that conversation about the dragon. Like I said,
No, you disappeared. I knew exactly what I was dealing with. You It's just an all of a sudden, and listener, it's hard to explain, but when you're talking to someone who is a guide between realms, maybe that's the best way to explain it. there's something that happens where the human literally steps aside or steps back for the soul to come forward or into picture. And then the soul uses this human body to be able to speak. So oftentimes, like, the voice might sound different, the eyes may close or look off or get glazed over completely. And when you said, I believe you said, I have something to share with you. And I went, oh, he just left. Like, that wasn't even you speaking. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, the human in me likes to ask permission and just let you know, but it's like if you're open to receive, your guides will work through me, and that's and I'm allowing them to do that, and I have no, yeah. I mean, that way we have beautiful synchronicities like this, where you did a meditation around dragons in the morning. All of a sudden, your guides were like, well, you know what? We need to just let her know that that's quite significant. Then you have this follow up. It's like when you start to connect the dots, such a beautiful synchronicity, right? When you open yourself up to the magic, it's like, otherwise, because you could have kind of just had them as individual conversations, but when you take a step back and you look at the dots, you're thinking, wow, isn't this cool?
Yeah, it makes me in awe of my own experience, my own life experience. I can't call it my life. It's an experience. I'm in awe of my experience because, I mean, how often do we get the opportunity to be validated so quickly, right?
Yeah.
So to be able to, usually it takes
Well,
years to look back and go, oh, that's why. Now I understand. But this is
yeah,
like in
I,
utter
I
amazement.
do feel, yeah, I mean, I do feel the phase we're in right now. Everything is, our cycles are really quick.
Mm.
So we're learning things, integrating them, and moving on really quickly. It's because what the planet's going through. So we're probably
Oh,
dealing more
explain
in,
that.
yeah,
Explain the times we're in. It's so interesting, Nimesh.
yeah, it's kind of crazy and intense. It's so, the planet is going through a shift, and I'm sure everybody can feel like something's happening. The craziness on the planet, not just the politics, the weather, and all that, but
Those
we're
are all
going
just
through this
symptoms.
shift. Yeah, so we're going through a shift that many spiritual leaders have talked about, but it's like shifting from divine masculine to divine feminine, and I feel like the planet's been preparing for this shift for many centuries, and we're all feeling it. And every soul that's here chose to be here. Every soul that is here is really volunteered to release a lot of personal ancestral karma, which is why we're feeling things so intensely. And this phase we're in right now, I mean, when we're recording this, there's so many planets in retrograde. Is like the energy is really intense, and what it's meaning is that we're releasing a lot of karma. So we're experiencing something, and we're being pushed to integrate it really quickly and then move on to the next thing, which is why we feel like this has been a constant roller coaster, because we probably dealt with more karma and growth in this lifetime that probably would have taken us 3 or 4 lifetimes previously. And this period in particular, we're probably dealing, in the space of 3, 4 months, what previously would have taken us maybe 10 years. And it's just,
Yeah.
it's all in line with, everybody's going through something. It's all in line with what the planet's going through. So, it's not for me to say it's not a period, not to be scared. I don't feel it is, but everybody's going through their own individual.
Right.
And I feel like the planet, probably over the next year, maybe 18 months, there's going to be so much happening on the planet, so many shocks, so many things. And you've seen it already. I mean, not just the politics, but weather, the plane crashes, all of this stuff is it's all part of what the planet's going through. And we individually have a choice. Do we let the noise on the planet consume us? Or do we kind of focus on the shift that's happening internally? Because we all can feel, I shouldn't say all, I feel like we're all going through a shift. Some of us can feel it, some of us can't. But it's like we have a choice. Do we focus on the internal, or do we let the outside noise consume us? And the reality is, maybe we're going to have a foot in both camps. But I would really recommend, be careful what you watch, what you feed yourself, the company you keep at this time. And we've been through a period where I feel for a lot of us, our circle got much smaller. That was intentional. It was
Absolutely.
intentional because we had to go through the shift. And now we're moving into a phase of community where, if you're open to it, you can find communities that really hold your space. And you've got to challenge yourself and say, well, hold on, are the people around me allowing me to expand? Are they really truly holding my space? Or do I have to lower my vibration to be around them? And if it's the second one, then I feel like this is a period where the universe is going to push you to really look at that.
No
And
compromises.
yeah,
It,
and your guides are kind. It's not like the universe is kind,
mhm.
but has a role to play.
For sure. Absolutely. It's interesting, and I like to bring this back to what you said with we'll get what we need.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily what we want, but it
Yeah.
is in our best interest. So when you can make that mind shift of I want, and therefore that's what I want, and that's what's best. And of course that's what's best because that's what I want, into what is best.
Yeah.
Please allow me to see what's best, to understand what's best, to accept what's best. And that's a huge change in how we function.
Yeah. It's changing from the first stage in any spiritual journey for me is awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And, you changing your question is how you become aware, right? If you truly accept everything in your external world is a result of something in your internal world, what I mean by that is your soul has picked a journey in this lifetime, which means that your experiences and everything you've been through is what your soul has picked, either to release karma or to expand. And once you start realizing that your external world, which is why I asked about the people in your world, is a result of something in your internal world, then you can start to realize actually you have the power to shift it. And how do you do that? You change your question. Like you were just saying, it's like, how is this serving me? What is this person here to teach me? And the thing is, once you become aware, it is like a doorway, right? Once you become aware, you open the door, you can't close it again, right? So you
Right.
start to become much more aware. But then the next stage is acceptance. Because like if you're going through something really intense and there's somebody like me saying, well, hold on, you chose this, it's really hard, right? It's like, well, hold on, why would I choose this?
Like,
It's
I want to go back. Can I go back
yeah.
through the door? Can I just
Yeah, yeah,
close
you
it?
can't.
No.
And
Yeah, no, you can't.
yeah, it's just, and yeah, but then after you accept this version of you, then it's forgiveness and love, and then that's where you start to truly understand you as a soul rather than a human, and that's the transition. Actually, I wanted to go back to one thing just because it's in my
Please.
it's um because we mentioned you having a dragon guide. We all have a set of guides, and I really do believe a lot of us have dragon guides, but none of it's fearful. So if you have a dragon guide, yeah, sure, they breathe fire, of course, but then that's sometimes what you need, right? That's
But
sometimes
isn't
what
that
you,
cool?
yeah, exactly. That's what you need. So I'm very conscious of, with this spiritual journey, I really believe universe, your guides are not going to give you anything you can't handle.
Absolutely. It may
And
scare the living daylights out of you
yeah,
because
100,
of
it
a lack
scares
of
the human.
understanding.
Yeah, it scares the
Right. It
human,
scares
right?
the human. But that's why then we work with people like you, right? When our humanness is not capable of maybe um understanding or processing as quickly as is comfortable, like
Yeah.
to shift us from that fear into comfort, and then in living in 100% acceptance. Sometimes, more often than not, I mean, I know I needed a ton of guides.
Yeah.
I just needed and still need a lot of people. And I think that that's one of the main objectives to being called to do this podcast, was to bring on as many guides as possible.
And
And that's not necessarily to drum up business for the guest. That's going to be like, I don't know, more of like the side result of it. The real bulk of this is really to help as many people as possible, because like you said, I think things are shifting so quickly that the human brain, who likes to create order and make sense of things, can't keep up. So we need people to
yeah.
come into our lives and to help us make sense of it all.
And you said something really important. The human brain can't keep up. So, and again, it's easy for me to say, but the more that we can let go and just trust, and that goes against everything all of our programming.
Oh
Our
my God,
programming
does it ever?
says it's all of our programming says we need to put everybody else first, and we need to plan everything. We need to. This isn't that period. This is a period where you have to be selfish, and I actually think it's selfish if you don't put yourself first. You need to put yourself first. You need to trust in whatever's coming next, and the more you try and control it, the more painful it's going to get. But if you're listening to this podcast, I really feel, and I really want you to hear this. You're needed, you're wanted, you're powerful. You chose to be here, and whatever you're going through, you can handle it. And whatever your story is, you're meant to do something with it. So change from victim mode to realize that everything you're going through is your training. And what if you're meant to be a bridge to guide other people, to let other people know there's a different way of being? But it's kind
I
of
mean,
true, right? Yeah,
not
it's
kind of. That's
yeah,
100% true.
it's just it's again, I'm using my words carefully, but I get it's a scary time. But actually, if you're open to it, it could be the most exciting time.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, 100%. When I look back on my journey thus far, there were plenty of times where literally everything and everyone around me was telling me, this is it. This is as good as it gets. You're going to accept this. You're going to stay in a place of fear and diminished capacity. Yet I had that voice that kept saying, oh no, like, don't settle for this. Don't, there's so much more. This is just your story. And a story is something you share. A story is something you tell. It's not something that defines you.
Yeah.
Listen to that voice. It's not something that necessarily defines you, but it is something that can create you.
I mean, I remember you sharing your story on my podcast. I mean, you're brilliant. I mean, just your ability to stay present with what you were going through and listen to the messages and not lose hope. And I get, look, we all go through ups and downs in this
Yeah.
periods, but that's inspirational, right? And it's just, but I guess if you listen to this and you are in that state of really feel like you got no hope, then you listen to this for a reason. Just
Ooh,
listen.
yes.
Yeah. Just listen to the messages around you and just, if you could just trust that whatever you're going through is a phase, and the quicker you can actually change your question and understand there's a lesson here for you, that's when things start to shift. And like I said, this is an accelerated
Rapidly.
period. So yeah, this is it. So if
Yeah.
you're open to it, because right now what's happening is the spirit, the soul is ready to shift. It's kind of in hyper mode and kind of ready to really drive things forward. But the human who likes things, likes to control, is maybe fearful of change. Everyone says that we love change, but do we really? We love change when we can control it. We can see it coming. When we have no clue of what's
Yes.
coming next, it's
Petrifying.
yeah. But what's courage? Courage is having fear and doing it anyway. And this is a period where it is a leap of faith. Your guides, the universe is asking you to take a leap of faith. And it's probably the biggest trustful you've ever taken, because you have no clue what's coming next. And you have people like us coming on a podcast
100%.
telling you just let go. And you're like, wait, what? Wait, what?
Right.
It's
What's going to catch me on the other end of this cliff?
yeah,
Maybe it's a dragon that rises up to catch you.
100%.
Who knows?
But again, go back to the deepest, darkest moments in your history and just how much did you learn from that experience? Who are you today because of what you went through? In those periods where you really thought you weren't going to get through it, you got through it.
Yep. And it makes you a stronger, braver version of yourself, like this bigger presence. And I think so much of the soul's journey and the healing journey is focused on the pain of it and the processing of the fear and the doldrums and literally the shit that you're going to crawl through. But I would love to take all of that, flip it on its head and say, when you start to feel all of that negativity, which is just your fear manifesting in different ways, when you see that and say, oh, wait a second, I'm seeing that because I'm ready to move out of it, and go, this is actually a time of celebration. This is a time of, my God, what new little magic trick do I get to learn? Or what can I pull out of my toolbox to help me through this? Yeah. And it could be 1,000 of these opportunities in any given day.
Yeah. It's the paradigm's all shifting. This is all a new time. And I say this quite often. It's like, I'm sure there's people listening to this and saying, well, they're not talking about me. They're talking about somebody else. If you're saying that to yourself.
We're not. We're talking about you.
Yeah,
we're talking
100%.
to you. We're talking to you.
I mean, I'm a great example. So I was in the corporate world. I was working with my mentor, my friend, who really, I thought we were going to raise the consciousness of the planet together. We did events in Hawaii, Mexico, all around the world. But she passed away. She died in a fire. He's only 30 years old in March 2020. And she became one of my spiritual guides. But as a spiritual guide, she's the one that pushed me to learn how to read Akashic Records.
And what was her name? Because
Sarah Jeffrey.
Spiritual, yeah.
And Spiritual Journey is named after her, right? So
yes.
Spiritual Journey podcast, SJ, Spiritual Sidra Jeffries has it. So I really feel like she guides it in. But what I'm saying is that moment when really I was relying on her, and actually I realized I was not standing in my power. I was relying on somebody else, and she supports me on the other side. But it made me realize, but then there was a lot of people around her at the time that did crash, but I realized that she prepared me for this phase. So, and the reason I share that is, what if everything you're going through right now is preparing you for you really shining your light and inspiring others. Because
Let me
again,
ask
you're
you
here.
this, Nimesh, if I could.
Sure.
Had your mentor not transitioned, do you think that you would be standing in the space that you are standing in now? Or would you still maybe be relying on her?
Tough question to answer, because the way that I look at things is I am who I am today because of everything. So I won't change anything in my life, but
Yeah.
I I've always known I'm here to do something different. I've always known um that my voice was powerful. And actually, as a kid, I didn't really have a voice, so it's kind of interesting how the journey goes. But it's like the major things that happen in your life that shake you, they are part of your spiritual acceleration.
Yeah.
So would I have still got here? I believe so. Would it have taken me longer? Probably. Having said that, Sidra in human form, she could get under my skin. She could like nobody
Oh,
else.
they're the
So
best triggers
yeah,
ever.
and she passed away in a fire. I mean, she was fire on this planet, right? So I don't know, but I know that I had a soul contract with her, because that's what led me to the Akashic Records. When I opened my records, I really wanted to understand my soul contract with her, and I understood that the contract, because I knew we weren't done. So I knew the contract we have now is she does the work on the other side and I do the work on this side. And so
Yeah.
I do
It's a
sometimes wonder,
beautiful partnership.
yeah, but I do sometimes wonder, I do have the conversation with my guides and her is like, wait, why couldn't we have done it the other way around? But anyway, I'm just joking. But
Why couldn't I be in beauty and peace
yeah.
and ease?
And helping millions of, I mean, maybe I'm helping millions of people already, but kind of, I don't know. But
Billions, could I have maybe gone
yeah,
to the infinite? I mean, that
yeah,
would seems to be pretty cool.
yeah.
When
I
I
was
had
yeah,
when I had my near death experience, I mean, it's still vivid to this day. The amounts of joy and peace and beauty and everything that you can imagine as the most perfect is what it was. And then to be told that I had much to do, I was like, oh, oh,
yeah, I know, yeah.
I
And
mean, thanks, I
I,
think.
yeah, no, I get that too. It's like, wait, hold on,
Kind of
you've
feel
done all
like I'd
this
rather be
already, and
here.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, every time I remember facets of your story that you shared, I'm just, I mean, we're recording, yeah, your episode. I don't know when this one comes out, but it comes out in a week's time, so I'm looking forward to
Oh,
sharing it
that's
with my
exciting.
audience. Yeah, and just because your story is inspirational, right? The number of things that you've been through, and but again, you're a great example of your story doesn't define you.
Right,
Your story
right.
has brought you to who you are today, but everything you've been through isn't who you are. It's this version of you. And, again, I'm sharing with the listeners is if you've been through a lot, it's because you can, it's because you're powerful and you're meant to do something with it. So, just be the inspiration, be the light.
I
This
think
is your time.
that's the key statement, what you just said. You're meant to do something with it.
Yeah.
You're not meant
Yeah.
to sit in it. You're meant to do something with it.
Yeah. I mean, I believe that when we come into this human form, the soul already knows what we need to go through. And it's multifaceted. Part of it is release karma. We have a lot of personal and ancestral karma that we need to release in this time. Secondly, it's what our soul needs to expand. So we need to expand in some kind of way. But thirdly, I believe everything we're going through is our training for how we're meant to shine our light in this lifetime. And this is this
Absolutely.
is this it's the three and it's the third thing sometimes we forget is when you've done all the internal work and you've done so much, why do you keep yourself a secret?
Oh, oh.
You're meant to be out there, and it doesn't matter, right? Maybe you're not meant to help 3.2 billion or whatever. Maybe you're just meant to help one person. But what you've been through for a reason.
Yes.
And when you share things, when you share your story, and I'm not asking you to be victimized, right? Sometimes people share their story, no judgment, but share their story about, look at me, look at what I've been through. And, kind of, it's more
And they
about,
celebrate the victimhood of it.
yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
more about what you learned from what you went through.
How you've
And it's,
grown.
it's that, yeah, how you've
Yeah.
grown and what your lessons were, because what you're doing is you're guiding other people to look at their stories and focus more on how they expanded, because sometimes we stay in victim mode, right? We stay in, oh my God, look at
Yes.
this, look at me, and I'm sending so much love. If you're going through a lot, sending you the biggest hug, but you've been through it for a reason. And this is the time where I feel like we're being pushed to really try to focus on ourselves and shine our light uniquely. And this is the period for you to do that. And it feels like a lot. It does feel like a lot, but
It does. It is. I mean,
it is.
straight up. Yeah.
But this is also the time to feel how much support you have on the other side, and also manifest and build support on the human realm. find a community, find
Mm-hmm.
people to work with, podcasts, whatever, it's just, there's so many beautiful communities out there that hold your space, and realize it's a superpower to ask for help. Because again, our programming is, oh my God, we've got to do everything on our own. Asking for help is a sign of weakness. No, it's not.
It was the hardest thing I had ever had to do. Literally, like I thought begging to die was the lowest, hardest, heaviest thing that I would ever experience. Oh no. No.
But yeah,
Actually reaching out and asking for help
yeah,
was even more difficult. And then I would say right up there in terms of difficulty is speaking truth. Actually speaking truth. Yesterday, I got a message from a listener who had said how grateful they were to have found the podcast because in their life, they've been leaning into these kinds of subjects, this kind of growth, this holistic spiritual existence, and they don't know who to talk to in their world about it. They don't feel safe because they feel they're going to be judged as a lunatic. And I said, "Oh, yeah, I completely understand that." Like,
yeah,
absolutely. But there does come a time where it's easier to speak from a authentic place
yeah.
and ask your questions and your quarries and go in through all the machinations of ideas that you could actually ever come up with. And as long as you don't pass judgment over yourself, nobody else can.
Wow, that's powerful. As long as you don't, that should be on a t-shirt. As long as you don't pass judgment on yourself, nobody else can.
They, and that's the key word. No one else can. They can't. They just can't.
Because you've taken their power away.
Oh,
You've,
completely.
yeah, that's so
It's an
beautiful.
it's an impossibility. So to which I said, go stand in your truth.
Yeah.
And if you don't have anyone in your immediate community, you have this community,
And isn't
you
that powerful?
have the spiritual journey community,
Yeah.
you have the find your flow community. There are a ton of communities out there where
100%.
you can
100%.
find your people.
Yeah. And you just got to ask. You've got to ask and be open to how it comes through. And just, there's magic.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, I love those emails where, just like the one you described, oh, I found your podcast at the perfect time. And it's like, always makes me smile because that's how our guides work.
Yes.
They guide you to things. If you sit there and just be in victim mode, then I love the phrase pain is inevitable, suffering is optional, because
Mm,
through
mm-hmm.
this lifetime, through this journey, we're going to experience pain, right? That's where the way we build, that's where our biggest growth comes. But sometimes we stay in situations and we suffer, and that's the
Needlessly.
choice.
Yes.
And it's an interesting, it's just an interesting time where, and a great example of suffering is when you're with somebody, your soul contract's complete, that you're lowering your
Mm,
energy, but you're choosing.
mm-hmm.
And here's the reality of soul contracts. Look, when you first got together with somebody, you were aligned. You were in love. But then as your path goes on, you do the work, and sometimes it means that your soul contract's complete. It's not good or bad. And I feel like this, and maybe the last year has been a lot about karmic closures, soul
Yeah.
contracts coming to an end.
Yeah.
And so look into your world and ask, which soul contracts am I holding on to? Because this is also a period to create space in your world for new souls to come in. You've got to create a vacuum, right? You've got to create a space for new souls to come in. And sometimes it means letting go of the ones that no longer serve.
Which
And
is really scary, and I get that.
yeah,
I get that, and that's that leap of faith.
yeah, it is. And it's just because it's like, what's on the other side? Like you talked about, I let go of these souls. And then what am I going to, because this is it has been a really lonely period.
Yes.
It's like, and
Yes.
there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. It's like we've been going through so much of a shift, and it really has felt like nobody understands what we're going through.
Mhm.
But this is
You're
a bit,
welcome, listener. We kind of paved the way for you.
this is what we kind of signed up to, right? This is what
I
the
mean,
talks are
listen,
trying
we
to.
did.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
did
this is what
choose this, and
it's.
for that I say you're welcome.
Exactly. You're welcome. 100%. 100%. We took one for the team. It's all good.
Yes, we did.
I love it.
So please do your part and just step into your
Yeah.
best life. It's scary. It does take courage. However, I'm telling you, the second you cross into saying, what, going from why is this happening to me to what is this doing for me? What am I learning? Everything, literally, you make that one change and everything changes.
Yeah.
It's just this beautiful ripple effect of clearing. And then you get to start exploring all
Yeah.
of the things that make your life good and better and better and better and bigger and better
100%.
and brighter.
Because you've got to meet your guides halfway, right? It's just, and what does that mean? Is it's that acceptance of that you are who you are. It's moving out of victim mode. Self care is really important too. Time in nature,
Absolutely.
meditating, physical activity, all that. That's important too, because on the spiritual journey, some people I feel like wait for this big epiphany. Oh my God, I have this destiny. I know it's coming. I'm going to wait for this big flash in the sky, or I'm going to wait for this phase to be over. You've got to meet your
I'm going to
universe
wait.
halfway. Yeah, because your
Yes.
soul are having a human experience. The human experience is around this moment. So if you're waiting for something, what if it never comes? Stop waiting.
Right.
This is the moment where you got to
Let's
start living.
actually make progress.
Yeah.
Take
And
those steps.
it could be as simple as changing a question, but also choosing to spend 10 minutes a day meditation, just being present,
Agreed.
10 minutes a day walking, being in nature, just doing something, because what that does, it sends a message to your guides, yourself, the universe, that you are prioritizing you. And as soon as you do that,
Yes.
the universe will meet you, your guides will meet you, but you have to ask for help and you have to take some action. It's just sitting there waiting for something. You're a soul having a human experience. So you're meant to enjoy and embrace the human experience. The other thing I'd say is I feel like life has gotten really serious for everybody. And I feel like we need to laugh, giggle, let your inner child out,
Right.
go and play on the swings, go and be silly, go and scream, let your inner child out and play. Because for so many of us, our childhood, we went through so much. And it's like, well, why don't you let your inner child out to play? Have some fun. Why is it so serious?
I love that. My mother-in-law, she once told me, eat dessert first. She said, why would you save that to when you don't have space for it? Eat
Wow.
dessert
I love
first. And I was like,
That's a game changer. Wait, hold on. That's a
it's
game
a
changer.
game changer.
Yeah, it's like, wait, hold on. That's true. Why do we wait? It's like, let's let's save the best for last. That's really interesting. Yeah, it's like, wait, hold on. Yeah,
Well,
I love it.
and that pretty much save the best for last. It pretty much sums up who we are in this human
Yeah,
experience. You're the best.
programming.
You
Yeah,
really are. In your life, you're the best.
yep,
And why are you saving the best for last when the best should be first?
yeah,
Consider
and
yourself dessert. Put yourself first.
yeah.
Enjoy that first.
And what if everything could be the best? What if everything could be the dessert? I
Right. Your whole
love it.
life. So I'm truly at a phase in my life, and I was just actually telling a friend about this. I'm in a phase in my life right now where everything is it's really awesome. And I say that not that everything is positive. Everything is awesome. It is literally blowing my mind. All of these different experiences, different people that I get to meet, different conversations, like all of it just
Oh,
blows my
beautiful.
mind. Walking down the street blows my mind at what I get to see and experience.
Wow, love it.
This is all I wish for everybody else.
Yeah,
That's it.
and that's what being in flow is, right?
Yes. Oh, Nimesh, thank you so much for being here with me.
Oh, I love it.
Um, I do want to ask you, since this is a divine conversation, do you have anything that you would like to share? Either for me, well, for the listeners.
I would just, it's like everything we've been talking about. The magic is in the moment and accepting you're meant to be here, knowing that you have something to do on the planet, and just focusing on the magic that you are and realizing that you are the gift, allowing yourself to feel your light, feel your power, and be the light. Be the light for you, unashamedly. Put you first. A lot of people say I have kids and I don't have time, all the rest of it. If you're not putting you first, what example are you setting for your kids? And that doesn't mean that you ignore your kids. It means you find time for you because you're beautiful. You're magical. You're meant to shine your light. And the other thing we've been talking a lot about is find communities that hold your space. You don't have to do this on your own. And always remember, you're needed, you're wanted, and you're loved. Connect
Yeah.
with your guides. They want to feel. And how do you connect with your guides? I get that question so often. I meditate. I don't see anything. Start by feeling. Start by trusting your intuition. What intuition? What does intuition look like? It's normally the first thing you hear when you ask a question, and it's normally light. It's not heavy. What tends to happen is then your ego comes over the top, and But no, if you just trust that soft voice that comes through, that just brings you so much power. And when you start trusting it, the connection to your guides just grow. This is the time of love. This is the time for you to truly be loved and held by the universe. Allow it.
Yeah. And you get to establish how you want to be loved, how you want to receive that. And the way to establish that is by loving yourself the way that you want to be loved. The way you need to receive love is how you should be giving that to yourself. You set those standards within, then the universe responds with that exact same standard. And then you get to hold everyone in your life accountable to that standard. And that's how everybody changes. Everybody
Yeah.
winds up showing up as their best self. I
Yeah.
used to tell students, close your eyes and ask your body, place your hands on your chest and ask your body, what do you need? And the very first thing that pops into your mind, you're going to follow through with that.
Yeah.
And quite often it's silly. It is silly. It is go eat grapes, go get a banana, go take a walk in the snow in your bare feet for 2 seconds. It's silly. It doesn't necessarily make sense.
Doesn't need
But
to.
what it is a low benchmark.
Yeah.
It's a low benchmark and you can meet it every single time. Your guides will not give you anything you can't handle. And quite often it's just a stick on the ground that you have to step over. That's, go eat grapes. That is a stick on the ground. You don't even have to think about stepping over that.
Yeah.
But once you do it, then you get a little bit more and a little bit
Yeah.
more and a little. It's just like going through elementary school and
Yeah.
all the way through college.
It's building a muscle, right? You can't go to the
It
gym and all of a
is.
sudden have a six pack. You've got to build on it. So you
Gotta put
gotta
in the
do
work.
yeah, 100%. You got to meet the universe halfway, but there is so much magic out there if you're open.
Well, Nimesh, thank you so much. Thank you for being here on Find Your Flow. Where can people, and I'll put all of this in the show notes, but
Sure.
where can people find you? Where can they work with you?
Sure. So my website is my name. So yeah, nimish-radio.com. All the details there. Listen to the podcast. I mean, if you want to find out more about Akashic Records, I do a monthly episode where I channel a message through the records for the collective. That's always a beautiful introduction to the records. It's called Spiritual Journey Path to Awakening, very much guided, 2 episodes a week. Or DM me, reach out, follow me. If you have a question, you have any feedback's always a blessing. Reach out. I love what I get to do. Thank you for this opportunity, Lisa. Such a powerful, we knew it was going to be, I knew it was going to be, but such a powerful, open, channeled conversation. So thank you for allowing me to be in this space. And I'm excited to release our episode too.
Oh, I can't wait for that. And listener, here's an important little tidbit. Hit the follow button, because when you follow something like the spiritual journey, you become a part of that community. That's your investment into the community. That's your saying, I want to be here. I want to show up and I want to be able to become one with all of the energy that's here. So in order to be welcomed into the monthly Akashic reading, you have to actually be a member of the community. So that's simple. Hit the follow button.
Yeah.
It's so
Beautiful.
simple.
Beautiful. And actually, I should have mentioned, I do a once a month webinar, full moon webinar. Again, we open the group Akashic Records. It's live. It's on Zoom. You don't have to be on screen. So many opportunities to build a community. That's such a loving, beautiful community too. So if you look for the
So many
communities, they're
options.
there. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I can't wait to do this again.
Yeah.
This will definitely have to happen again.
We could have talked for hours, right? We could talk for hours about this stuff.
Literally, I'm cutting this off and I feel like I'm cutting this off at its knees.
I love it. I love it. And actually, I just looked at the time, 55 minutes and 55 seconds.
Here we go. 55. Thank you, Nimesh. Until next time.
Thank you. Sending love and light out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here with me, listener. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. And if you did, please consider sharing it with someone else who may enjoy it. My intention here is to inspire, empower, and help us all learn. So be sure to click that follow button for more holistic tips, inspiring conversations, and Reiki-infused meditations. One more thing before you go. Check out the Instagram handle @nagarelife.